Hello, everybody. Welcome back. Tonight we have some special news, some stuff that is going on with GameStop, which was rumored before, but it's finally confirmed, which is a good thing. We got some MicroStrategy news. We also got some bit of drama going on in HyperLiquid exchange that we will be discussing later today. Some people thinking that we have officially bottomed. Some people think that we have not yet bottomed in this crypto market for the bull run. We'll be analyzing both perspectives and draw our own conclusions from that. If you're wondering what these moving averages are, I made a bit of an adjustment. I'm using 50 and 200 exponential moving average now instead of the super trend and 200 simple moving average. Why? Because I feel like it's a little bit too slow. I'm entering once the trends are kind of dying out. So I need you know, I need to figure out when those trends are a little quicker, and I've noticed this is a very popular one, 50 and 200 exponential moving average in the 1 hour chart. So I'm currently using that to identify my trends. Historically, it seems like it looks pretty good, right? So yeah, we'll see how that plays out for now. Currently, Bitcoin's price, it hasn't really moved too much compared to 24 hours. It did have its fluctuation today, right? We reached a low of about 85,800. We're currently back up to 87,300. Not too bad for Bitcoin. Highest point that we're reaching is about 88,000, right? Around this zone, which is exactly where we have the first resistance for the pivot zone. We're also combating this downtrend, which it might spell the death of us, honestly. I have a feeling we might have one more drop. We'll discuss more in detail where, why, all that information for now. Look at this uptrend. It's still maintaining itself very strong, though this is a dip from today, and it managed to hold up, bouncing right off of that. If we're looking at this specific candlestick, only half of it is a wick, right? Meaning significant rejection of the price from dropping further below 86,000, right? 85,000 was the lowest point, 85,800. And there was enough buy power to push it all the way back up, and we're currently getting a very nice pump. It is Asia time to start buying like crazy, so good for them. What time is it in China? 9:03 a.m. What time do stock markets open in China? What time do stock markets open in China? I do want to know that. 9:30 a.m. to 11:30 a.m. Okay, so if you didn't know this, they're 12 hours exactly ahead of us, and 9:30 is when they open, similar to New York time. It's 9:30 in China Standard Time. Can't believe that's a real time zone. No, obviously it is. What am I saying? Hey, we're starting to get a bit of an uptrend here. Around like 8 o'clock is, I guess, when some people, you can buy crypto, right? Crypto is 24/7. People could just, probably start warming up around this time. It's good to know this information, right? Cool. So, we might get some volatility pretty soon. Not too much. Well, yeah, maybe some. Depends on what China wants to do. Let's review the other coins. Solana is at 138, actually dropping. It did have a good pump yesterday. This is from yesterday at 147. I did hit a take profit on it yesterday, which it could have been a 1-3, but I did a 1-1 for whatever reason. It was still a take profit, but I immediately lost it in the second trade today, where we immediately dumped at around 9 a.m. And from there, we slowed down the drop at this support level that I have drawn. It seems like a good support and resistance level. Support become resistance multiple times. So at 135 was our lowest point. 136 is where I have that level drawn. Seems like we're currently slowing down at the first resistance from the pivot levels. So we'll see how price behaves from here. Currently, we are not considered in any trend. Indecisiveness at the moment. Could stay within a range for a moment. Down 4% right now for Solana. It was at a high point of 145 though today, so that's pretty decent. Highest point within the most recent past couple of days is 147 from yesterday, March 25th. Not too bad for Solana, like I said. So this downtrend is broken. Do we have Any other downtrends? Where does this downtrend drawn from? I'll zoom out my time frame for a minute here. That was, I think, the most crucial one. It is indeed. From here, we don't have any more downtrends, so that's a possible bottom indicator, right? This uptrend looks very strong and healthy, right? Lowest point we can dip to, 132. I'm hoping we don't break down from this pivot level at 130, right? If we do, then that will be the end of Solana. We'll continue a new downtrend, and who knows how long that one will continue, but I don't think that will happen, honestly. Our next resistance we're looking at is this zone right here, 155 to 158. After we do have to break out of the 144, 145 zone first. We're currently at 138, so we still got a moment to go beat this target and then beat this zone right over here. So those are the levels to pay attention to for Solana. Uptrend is looking good, as I said, so we'll see how that plays out. Let's go back to 1 hour. Let's check out Ethereum. $2,023.99. It's down 2.16% today. Bottomed out at 1,981 at this pivot level. Interesting. It worked as a support here multiple times, so that's decent. It's nice to know that some of these levels are being respected. This uptrend, I guess it's still in play. We can micro adjust it later. We're currently searching our way back up right here. Resistance, we're looking at 2070, a line that I drew, compared to the resistance from the pivot zones at 2100, we'll say. I'd say that's the most crucial area, this top range right over here for our resistances in Ethereum. Levels to pay attention to from 2070 to 2100. Those $30 are crucial. Currently 2024, like I said, so still on our way back up. We still got about 2% to rise from there. We are down that 2% today, so just got to get that 2% back based off of this candle that dropped, if we can. We'll see how Ethereum plays out. XRP down 3.55%, $2.37. It's not a bad price. This uptrend is absolutely broken. Could be forming a new bottom, I'm not sure. First support level we're looking at is 222. It is a notable support, right? We've seen it a couple times. Resistance, first resistance we're seeing, well, the tallest one would be the 258, 259 zone, which is where we topped out over here. Pivot was already broken, so we are currently heading downwards for XRP. We're about to get a death cross in the exponential moving averages, which would also indicate further downward pressure, possibly from XRP, but I actually forgot to find a news for this. I want to see if I can find it. XRP. There is some XRP news. If I can find it. Never mind. No, I don't think I'm going to find it. The idea is... This is important. I'll talk about this one in a moment. It has something to do with that. And also possible ETFs coming out soon, according to Brad Garlinghouse, the CEO of Ripple, mentioning that, yeah, we're absolutely going to get an ETF for XRP very soon. And it's likely, it's the most likely crypto now that it will be getting the ETF next. According to statistics, I think I saw like 84% chance that XRP will be the next cryptocurrency to get an ETF. Before it used to be Litecoin. Before that, it used to be Solana. So things can change. Obviously, we don't have a Solana ETF yet, nor Litecoin. So that's why they are, you know, Litecoin, for instance, had dropped. It stayed optimistic for a moment, but it dropped from there. So yeah. Now it seems like it's XRP, but currently it's not being reflected in the price. We had a 3% drop today, and who knows where we'll be bottoming out over here. I think we're still close to free fall. This, like I said, will be crossing downwards. That's an opportunity to search for shorts in the 5-minute chart. So that's what I'll be paying attention to for XRP sooner or later. Cardano is down 1.90%. Current price is 73 cents. I do need to accumulate more Cardano. Is this a bad price or a good price? It's I think you missed the train, honestly. Good prices would be under 70 cents. We're currently 73 cents. Below this line, this blue line right over here, would be good zones for accumulation if you see these little low points, in my opinion. I did do some trading as well on Cardano, as you can see here. Some successful, some not. No, none of them were successful, realistically. But we'll see. Currently, we're using this dynamic support over here. 200 exponential moving average at 72 cents is where we bottomed out today. 71.91. Currently 73, like I said. Looking for that next resistance, which would be around this zone. Between about 74 cents is what we should be looking for if we do continue our movement upwards. But currently, no trend due to the price being in between both exponential moving averages. So watch out for that. Not a good, not ideal for trading, right? Don't know where the price is heading. Look at this. What is going on with Sui? I have a position open here, by the way. And I'm not a genius because I did have a position open here before as well. With Sui, you can see that it actually opened a position and it hit a stop loss. I lost $45 right over here because I bought. It rose a little bit, but then this down movement candle hit. I'm gonna go to the 5-minute chart so you can see. There's two trades that happened today in Sui, and I'll draw both of them out, show you guys what's going on. This one I disagree with. Where are the 3 moving averages pointed upwards? They might have been for one small candle around here. No, realistically none. I don't understand why a trade got entered here. It should not have. Or maybe it entered here, and this is just wrong. This could have been the case, I'm not sure. But yeah, I would have been looking for a risk-reward ratio of 1 to 3. My stop loss would have been like around over here. That's where this candlestick got triggered. The stop loss seems reasonable, right? And if I'm looking for a 1 to 3, you're expecting the price to rise up there. Although this one, I'm not going to lie, I tried doing a 1 to 1, but then I changed it back to 1 to 3. And thankfully I did do that because now, not to jinx this or anything, but it looks like we're very, very close to our take profit. We just need a 1% more. Sui is the only coin that's in the green out of the coins that I review. It's up 8%. We'll review the reasons why. I actually don't really know, so I'm going to check out for the news here. And yeah, this is the current trade that we are on right now. The stop loss, I improved stop loss positioning to be put right below that previous minimum in the last 10 candles with a bit of spacing depending on average true range. I'm using the percentage of the ADX to the average true range. So like if ADX is 21, average true range is 1 cent with 60. What it will do is it'll take 21% of 1 cent and 60, whatever that amount is, and it will leave that spacing there. A little bit of breathing room, kind of tight, but you know, ideally if it goes down, it goes down. It's whatever. But this is going really well so far. I'm pretty proud of that. It was plus 100 and we're at plus 94 right now. We'll see how this plays out. I'll keep the trade open here while we review the other coins. Litecoin is our last one. Down 2% approximately. Current price is $93.47. It reached a high of 95 today and then dropped to a low of 90. That is some crazy volatility. About 5% drop. It has recovered since then, about 3%. So now we're down 2%, hypothetically. That's what we got. All right. Still in a range, though. You can clearly see the zones that we have. Resistance here, support down over here. So we're kind of staying within this range. Occasionally no trend unless we're above these, which does happen sometimes. So possible entries pretty soon for Litecoin could be the case. I'm keeping my eye on Sui for now. We'll see how this one plays out. I'm hoping we finally hit a take profit of 1 to 3. It'll be my first actual take profit of 1 to 3. Because I've been trading yesterday, and it's just been going really bad. Yeah, there's no hiding that. So I'm going to find Let me go to trading workbooks, perpetual futures. Maximize that. And let me write down the trades that we did so far. Which ones did I write down? Ethereum, Sui. Ethereum, Sui. So next one is Solana that I have to write down. Closed on 325 and opened at 142. Closed at 143. I was going long, so this one was a take profit. I made $46 from that, but I paid like what, $4 in fees, $3.88. So yeah, I practically made 46 then. No, that's a lie. I made 42. Solana again, and that next time I lost. I'm assuming this is 326. Yes, that's from today. 2 losses today, by the way. Then opened at 144 over here. Closed at 143. Lost 52, and I also lost $4 more on top of that for fees. Stop loss was triggered. This one was a take profit triggered. I mistyped there. And Sui is my last one, and I'm about to write another Sui soon, hopefully today, and hopefully it's a take profit. And yeah, we'll see. This one was also a loss of 43 and paid a funding fee as well, unfortunately. It's annoying to see sometimes, but it's part of the game. Only $1.98 in fees. That's pretty good. This was a stop loss. We have another Sui trade currently open. I don't know when it's going to close. I'm not going to fill in the rest for now. Every day we're losing $25 since inception. 22 days of trading. That's terrible, but things can turn around once we start defining an actual trend, because if you'll notice, practically almost every time we've been in like this flat, no trend, especially looking at it with it in a different lens of a different indicator, the exponential moving averages for 1 hour indicators, you can clearly see, right? It's just been not enough volatility to the upside or the downside. Of course, this one, yes, but I wasn't trading back there. Like, gosh, these markings are in the way sometimes. I'm just trying to scroll through the chart over here. A bit of rejection here. That's not good to see. I'm hoping that, you know, we do hit this take profit before. It's before the resistance at 276 from a fib level, so I mean it should hit, theoretically speaking. I'm just gonna ignore this and let it do its thing, hoping that it does rise enough. It has happened to me though, a similar trade like this, and I forget which other coin it was. I think it was Cardano, possibly. It was this close to the take profit as well, and then it just immediately reversed overnight and ended up hitting a stop loss. And that's when I was like, you know what, maybe it's better to do 1-to-1. But then sometimes when I do 1-to-1, like I tried in Solana, the winning Solana trade that I showed you, this one, it actually would have worked with a 1-to-3. So then I'm like, you know what, I'm just gonna suck it up and work with a 1-to-3, even if that means I could lose more frequently, but I just need like more frequent winning trades. My stop loss would have been like over here, take profit 1-to-3. Right there. Like this one would have worked, but I only did a 1-to-1 and it ended up closing like over here. So yeah, you know, lesson learned, I guess. A 1-to-1 is what I did right there. So that's why this trade was profitable, but a 1-to-3 would have absolutely worked, and I should have just taken it. Anyway, so I'm sticking with 1-to-3 permanently now. I won't change that anymore, I promise. Alright. There's your 20-minute crypto analysis. Alright, let's go check out some news. I'll check this one out in a second. So, Kentucky, or a lot of states in the USA, they're doing a lot of moves with, in terms of, you know, Bitcoin and crypto. Kentucky signed a Bitcoin rights bill into law, which protects self-custody, mining, and digital payments. Good. No issues there. Ohio senator says that Bitcoin reserve legislation will be passed by August is what they're expecting. If you recall what the M2 money supply thing looked like, yeah, June, July, August looks really good, according to M2 money supply. I'll get to that topic as well in a moment. This is the bigger news. GameStop, which was rumored before that they would be accumulating Bitcoin, well, now it's official. They will be adding Bitcoin to their treasury reserve. They finally announced it. That's great. Remember that they have about $4.6 billion cash on hand. If I go check, what is this? No, never mind. If I go check, what is it called? Companies, market cap, here. Search GameStop, GME. You can see all the company's information, right? If we check their cash on hand, there's how much money that they have just for no reason, right? They just have this amount of cash since October. Or, yeah, October. As of October is the data that we have this. So $4.61 billion in cash. I wouldn't mind that kind of money entering the crypto market. Something that I've mentioned before in past streams. Let me just push this around over here. I don't really need it. Okay. It also made GameStop's price pump, right? Their stock price. If you don't know about the lore, I guess, there is a big, you can see right here, all this volatility, big battle between retail investors and institutional investors. What does this mean? The institutions, big companies, they're like, you know what, GameStop is a terrible company, worthless, we're just going to short it. They're, you know, the hedge fund managers are just selling and shorting the price of GameStop, keeping it suppressed for ages, right? Until it was back over here. We're looking at this. Till we had some Redditors say, hey, what if we just send a big FU to these people and we just all do this insider trading to, well, this setup to just buy the hell out of GameStop's stock, right? We're going to liquidate those guys and also get rich from that, which they managed to do. They pumped the price all the way from $3 to $120. Multiple volatility spikes right over here. In 2021 is when this happened. The guy behind it all was Roaring Kitty. That's where this Roaring Kitty guy comes in. He's apparently getting into some legal trouble for this insider trading and all that kind of stuff. Especially when he did it again. Not this year, last year. I feel like it was this year. 2024, May and June, he did it twice. He live streamed some of these events too. And he's like, hey, let's all get in on it again. Even Andrew Tate got into the action just to do the same kind of thing, right? Screw the institutional investors who are shorting the markets. You're the reason why retail investors cannot be rich, right? We're going to give back to the community like a Robin Hood kind of deal. And they did it, right? Since then, GameStop's stock has stabilized due to the amount of people that just purchase so much, right? It's about $20, $30 per stock. And today it had a jump of about 6, I don't know, what is that, 9%? I don't know. Does it tell me here? 11%. 11% today. Due to the news that they would be purchasing Bitcoin as their strategic reserve. They also had earnings report at the close of the market today, which seems like it went fine. They apparently, instead of putting the 4.6 billion that I showed you, I think they're only going to be putting 1.3 billion, which is still fine, into Bitcoin. They're going to raise that amount so that they can start their purchasing. I don't understand that part. Like, you have 4.6 billion, just do it all. 87,000 is not a bad price. Push us to what, 92,000? Maybe. I wouldn't mind that. I don't like this slowdown. It's 9:25, or it's almost 9:30. So yeah, that's the GameStop news. There's more information down here. Plan to raise 1.3 billion through a private offering of convertible senior notes with proceeds intended for general corporate purposes, including the acquisition of Bitcoin. Great. Bitcoin, of course, is expected to rise, and that's why institutional investors, retail investors, everybody wants to get into a bit of that action, that Bitcoin action. This is a stock to flow chart. It's just kind of like a prediction tool, I guess. It shows the stock flow and then the price of Bitcoin, where it's expected to rise and all that kind of information. According to this one, prediction for end of 2025 is $368,925 per Bitcoin. That is very specific, but yeah. My Bitcoin price forecast is not that aggressive. I think this is a little aggressive. Like, there's people that estimate 500,000, 300,000, that kind of stuff. I think that's too much. I honestly think like 180 or 220,000, around that range. I'm sticking with that. 200,000 Bitcoin, let's just say, on average. Here's open. We'll see. I mean, if it's more than good for me, right? But that's what I'm at least expecting. Those are my expectations. I'm setting them a little conservatively, a little low, because I don't want to disappoint myself. If Bitcoin does not reach those levels by end of year, I will indeed be disappointed. But, you know, Bitcoin can always surprise, whether that be to the upside or the downside. BlackRock has launched a European Bitcoin ETP today. It's similar to ETFs. Available now for Europeans. Congratulations. More volume into the markets. Whether that be good or bad. Depends on how the institutional investors decide to, you know, run that. We know already that Michael Saylor owns 2.4% of the entire Bitcoin supply. I did cover this before. They have 506,000 Bitcoins. It's worth $44.2 billion. Their average price is something like 76,000, I think, 78,000. Because they bought at the top a couple of times, a lot of like heavy purchases, right? What else? There can only be 21 million Bitcoins. They have 506,000 of that. So that's 2% of the entire supply. The USA is planning to obtain 5% of the total supply by holding 1 million Bitcoins, 1.2 million. Satoshi Nakamoto, the founder of Bitcoin, anonymous person, holds 1 million Bitcoins. Will he ever sell? I don't think so. If he's the creator of Bitcoin, I think he'll know to sell, if he will ever sell, or if he's even still alive, or a company or a person, I don't know who it is. I'd say they would do it like once the 21 millionth Bitcoin has been mined. Right now we're at like 19 million Bitcoins mined, I'm pretty sure. And it's really hard to mine it. It requires a lot of energy, a lot of power. And, you know, the price of Bitcoin does have to rise to compensate for all those costs. Otherwise, miners will be broke. So, yeah. This is the major news, though, is that Michael Saylor actually says that he is going to be burning the keys to over 17,000 Bitcoin, which is worth $1.5 billion. If you don't understand what this means, the way you hold Bitcoin is in a wallet, and you have your private keys to access that wallet. It's like a passphrase, like a bunch of letters. I get a bunch of comments about it all the time from scammers, but you can always check that. Now, what he's going to do is burn the keys to the Bitcoin in that wallet. Not all of it, obviously. I think he wants to keep some for himself. Remember, he has 506,000, but he's willing to burn 17,000 Bitcoin, meaning 17,000 Bitcoin will be lost forever. Why? Because he's deleting the password for that wallet, and, you know, the wallet is unhackable without that passphrase. That's why it's important to store your keys in a private, secure location so that you can access your crypto. Otherwise, you will lose your crypto. That could be bad for you unless you're doing it on purpose, like Michael Saylor is. He's losing it on purpose to contribute to overall society by taking out 17,000 Bitcoins out of circulation, making Bitcoin even more scarce. Now there's less Bitcoins that people can obtain. $1.5 billion worth value right now. And that's just going to increase over time. So, cool. That's great, Michael. Thanks. This is the M2 money supply chart that I am talking about. This is the current price action of Bitcoin and the 1-day chart. We're seeing 3 candlesticks with rejection towards the upside in a row today. Today, well, that was in the past 3 days, sorry. Today is like about over here by now, right? Sui's going back up, that's good. We go to the daily chart to show you guys. So 1, 2, 3. This one is currently, it has rejection to the bottom side as well. I don't know, this is a really, really tight zone. We also do have some important economic data that's coming out tomorrow or the day after that could bring some volatility to the market, hoping toward the top side, but it could also be toward the downside. And why is that? Because of the correlation of global M2 money supply and Bitcoin. Of course, it's not 100% accurate. It could absolutely be wrong. Maybe we get our pump right now. So be it. But, you know, based off of the accuracy in the past versus what could be happening, the orange price is Bitcoin, the yellow is M2 money supply, it's looking like we're going to get a dip. By when? By April, beginning of April. April 2nd is, it looks like this is April 2nd to be the lowest point. What else is happening April 2nd? Trump tariffs. Should I just skip over to that? Let me find. Here it is. Trump's saying a 25% tariff will be applied to any car, light truck, or parts of cars and light trucks not manufactured in America. So, RIP Canada. And reciprocal tariffs on April 2nd will apply to all countries, is what he said. So, that's still going to happen. People, the reason we had a bit of a recovery rally, a mini rally that fails, as noted over here, it hasn't failed yet, but it might, and I wouldn't be surprised if it does. The reason we had this little rally was because of the possibility of Trump laying back some of those tariffs, or, you know, not being so aggressive with them. Some rumors. It wasn't actually confirmed by anyone, and it seems like that's not going to be the case at all. It seems like we're still going to get some tariffs being applied left, right, and center. So that might still be the case, and that might cause a market drop. Another thing that could cause a market drop is potentially higher inflation, less chances of a rate cut. We always pay attention to the CME Fed Watch tool, right? To see when the next FOMC meeting is, decision of interest rates, if they're going to get cut or not, to see if we get more money flowing in the planet, and well, the United States. Next one is in 41 days. Do we know which date? May 7. You have an 87% chance of not seeing a rate cut. Current rate is 425 to 450. So 425 to 450, 87% chance we're going to still stay here. If this percentage increases, that's bad, and it's going to cause market to drop. What can cause that to increase? We're getting gross domestic product information tomorrow. This is Wednesday, Thursday. GDP, gross domestic product, right? We're expecting it. How does this chart work? We're expecting it to drop. Fair. Because of the tariffs. If it drops more than expected, I guess. No, that would be good. If it doesn't drop as much as expected, that would be bad. I'm hoping that's the case. Don't take my word for it. I've honestly forgotten what the specifics of that is. But we're expecting it to be 2.3%, right? It would all depend. We'll hope that at least it aligns with what the forecast is, right? If it is, then, you know, it won't be too volatile. Things will continue as normal. But what's more important is PCE, Core PC Price Index. We're expecting that to be 0.3%. This is month over month, right? It was previously also 0.3%. If this indicates that inflation is rising, that would be a bad thing, which might be the case because of the tariffs. Tariffs do cause short-term inflation, possibly, right? That would increase the percentage of keeping rates where they are and reduce the chances of rate cuts maybe in the next meeting, or maybe instead of seeing 3 rate cuts, because that's what we're expecting. First rate cut, second rate cut, third rate cut by December 2025. We're expecting 3 this year. The Fed themselves projected 2 just to play it safe, and that's taking into consideration a worst case scenario of every country also retaliating tariffs on the United States. So still 2 rate cuts, given that that possibility, that's not a bad projection at all, right? But they're playing it safe. We're still expecting 3. And if this becomes 2, yeah, markets will dump because of that. So that's going to be important for tomorrow and the day after tomorrow. We'll see how that plays out. Part of the reason why we could see a drop. If not, okay, well, I think we will. I honestly think we will. We'll see a drop and we'll stay below for a while longer. Seems like for the whole month of April, according to M2 Money Supply, we'll be in the low 80s again. Man, I don't know if I should start... If I should start, you know, taking some profits, if you know what I mean, on my main account. Please, just one more pump. At least for Sui. Here's hoping. Alright. So that's what the M2 Money Supply is looking at. I've explained this a couple times now, but yeah. Oh, here's the explanation for it all too. Bitcoin's price has formed what would be a possible short-term local topping pattern. 3 daily candles with tall upper wicks. So the first chart right over here, 3 upper wicks. It doesn't mean Bitcoin needs to correct for long. It could just be a matter of days, or it could be longer. According to M2 Money Supply chart, though, that looks like a whole month of April, which I'm not looking forward to. Combine this with a pattern fitting of the global M2 versus Bitcoin chart, we see similar forecasts. The mini rally that fails, which is circled over here, it's still playing out, hasn't been violated. This further backs the idea of a short-term correction, and it just perfectly aligns with April 2nd reciprocal tariffs. Lastly, we know how much tariffs affect the price of Bitcoin. Just look at the dips that happened February 2nd, sorry, February 28th, yeah, February 2nd as well, and March 10, I think. We had a lot of tariffs announced those days. So the long-term outlook, though, it still looks very bullish in the months to come. Why? Because April 30 seems to be the actual bottom, where price will continue to rise from there, according to the M2 Money Supply. It has a 107-day offset, so this is 107 days in the future, right? M2 Money Supply is just the amount of money that the world has to purchase anything, right? People will purchase Bitcoin as well with that. So short-term correction could be several days or several weeks at most. Then a couple months blast off after that. This so far is leading until July, and it looks really good at almost looking like 120k Bitcoin. And if he's wrong, if this is wrong, then we would validate the 70-day offset of the M2 chart, which is good. Because if you haven't seen the 70-day offset compared to the, what is this one again? 107, it's much different. You want to show that with an offset. There's an indicator for it on TradingView. M2 Global Liquidity Index with a 10-week lead. I said 70 days, 10 weeks, 7 days in a week, 7 times 10, 70 days. So it's this thing. And I want to move this up. No. How did I do this before? Get out of here. Move to existing pane above. There we go. So what we're expecting to see, let me just adjust these. So this is the kind of correlation that we're seeing, right? We see the dip over here, the yellow line, and then, I mean, from there it's rising, and it's looking like, what is this? End of April, instead of that being our blast off day, we could be at 90,000 Bitcoin. Maybe we cross 100,000 by middle of May, right? I don't want to give exact dates because this can be offset by a while. You can see, right? It's the general direction is the same, but the actual precision of the market not actually the same, right? Like you could, or it's very subjective. You just move this around anywhere you want. But yeah, that's what it's looking like right now. This downtrend is important as well. It's going to define whether or not we break out and head upwards, like really strong, or if we bounce off of this downtrend a fourth time, 1, 2, 3, this will be our fourth time, bounce downward and look for one of these support levels at. It's looking like 77,000 or 81,000, approximately around those levels down there. I would remain cautious of that. Prepare for both scenarios, honestly. There can only be two scenarios in a market, so I'm not sure if I'm providing you with valuable information by saying that, but you get the point. That's the difference between those two offset charts of the M2 money supply. We'll see how it plays out. Here's a person that thinks that the bottom is in already. Brutally honest, I never thought it would get this low, but in hindsight, it makes sense. Ethereum sacrificed revenue, talking about Ethereum as well, in the short term to supercharge its L2 initiative. At the same time, the SEC approved the ETFs, but disallowed staking. This made the ETF products not very desirable. Their issues are now reflected in the price. It makes sense. Like if ETFs are launched for both Bitcoin and Ethereum, which one would you rather buy? Ethereum not that volatile, Bitcoin more volatile. Of course, you're going to buy Bitcoin. Bitcoin's also a really good asset. So is Ethereum, but you know, still, you would want to buy Bitcoin. What does Ethereum have to offer? Kind of the same thing. It's a cryptocurrency as well, but it's not that volatile. And we've seen the ETF only outflow, right? The ETFs have just been constant outflows. So, what could turn things around? Staking. If you allow staking on Ethereum ETFs, that'll make more people want to invest in that because it's like getting a dividend, right? They're receiving something in return, practically guaranteed, a small percentage, and also growing their money passively. So that would be advantageous for Ethereum to get staking approved on their ETFs. They will be solved soon. Base rollups coming early 2026 gets layer 2s paying their fair share to layer 1s for security. Remember, contrary to what CT wants you to think, L2 activity is popping, especially on base. Up till now, L2s have been benefiting from a free trial of sorts to encourage building. Once L2s start paying their fair share, revenue will trend higher, making Ethereum a more desirable asset to hold. Blobs will also increase burn, making Ethereum more deflationary. Burning is the solution to inflation in cryptocurrencies because there's some cryptocurrencies that don't have a set supply. They have an infinite supply. So what do you do to keep their value valuable? You would burn it. Means you're taking money out of circulation. You're deflating that coin. You of course don't want to do it too much, but similar thing with inflation. Inflation it's always going to be there. You want it to be as low as possible. And but it does like depreciate the value over time of any asset. Just look at the dollar, for example, literally the dollar. If you were to burn dollars, the dollars become less common, more rare, and it would increase the value because now more people are trying to hoard dollars, right? That's what determines the price movement of the dollar index, for example, when we're talking Forex. Anyways, continuing. Additionally, the new administration Securities Exchange Commission will allow ETH staking, making the ETFs more desirable, giving more incentive for the issuers to push these products. All this is happening while stablecoins take center stage in US policy. It's a lot of talk about stablecoins there. And banks are rushing to create money market funds on Ethereum and tokenize real-world assets. That's important as well. All these institutions, it seems like they're going to be looking at Ethereum for this. RWA plays. As we get closer to quantum, Bitcoin's issues around lost coins will start poking holes in the Bitcoin narrative, as well as diminutive block rewards after the next 2 or 3 halvings, threatening Bitcoin's security. Okay, that's a whole different subject though. Quantum computing, possibly cracking the code of Bitcoin. Although I don't think it's actually going to happen, at least not anytime soon. Even if it does, it's going to be revolutionary for literally anything. You can hack into anything with quantum computing. So I don't think it's going to be a big deal for Bitcoin. Hopefully not. Who knows? All in all, I think there has never been a better time to swap Bitcoin for Ethereum. Interesting take. I mean, Ethereum is at a very low price, right? 2019. We're half of where we are from our all-time high, 4,000 Ethereum, to be worth 2,000 right now. Not a bad moment to accumulate. I've been accumulating since 1,700. So, lower than this. Much lower. Right over here. I did buy this dip over here. Ignore that one. Wait, why does that show buy and then never sell? Or maybe I was shorting? I don't even know what this one's from. Whatever. That's not relevant for this. Just know that, you know, Ethereum is still a good play. Don't forget about Ethereum. That's all. Don't sleep on it. Next, Custodia Bank and Vantage Bank. Speaking of the institutions, they issued Aavit, the first US bank-backed stablecoin on a permissionless blockchain. It's running on Ethereum, and Aavit marks a major step toward compliant, dollar-based payments using blockchain technology. Institutions are adopting blockchain technology. Governments will probably also be adopting blockchain technology, and that's what I wanted to talk about this. Not yet. Let me just shift this over. All right, we'll talk about it soon. Just keep that in mind for now. Another important Ethereum information, because I want to talk more about Ethereum first. Their daily burn volume has apparently dropped to an all-time low of just 53 Ethereum. It's still burning, but that's fine. It signals, though, a weak network demand as on-chain activity and fees hit multi-year lows. It's not that popular right now, Ethereum. That's why the price it is where it is. There's just a lot of other options as well. However, Ethereum's ecosystem still remains the largest, still used by many. Sure, the other ones right now are more popular, but like Ethereum is just like the OG, the more trusted one, right? That's why it still has, you know, the cards for this game, you know what I'm saying? Despite this long-term sentiment, it remains supported by the declining exchange supply and growing institutional adoption, such as Fidelity's tokenized fund launch. Yeah, surprise. Where is it? I'm trying to find... Here it is. Fidelity. They will be launching their own stablecoin. My news is all over the place. I'm sorry, but yeah. BlackRock's Ethereum Build fund. It triples in value to $1.87 billion in just 3 weeks. Ethereum is indeed the #1 chain. BlackRock absolutely agrees with that. They've been accumulating a lot. BitMEX co-founder Arthur Hayes also is saying, you know, in order for other altcoins to start rising, Ethereum will have to lead the way first before alt season is confirmed, right? Like, if you're expecting Solana to $300, Ethereum will first hit $5,000. Like, that's the first thing that has to happen before that sentiment comes back in the market and people will start purchasing other assets as well, because people will be like, hey, remember Solana? That was a good coin. And they'll pump that up to 300 later, though. Later. All right. XRP case, we already know that it has been ended. Same day, Trump signs an executive order to modernize treasury payment systems. That's important, okay? He's telling, you know, the US Treasury to modernize their payment systems. What's the modern version of payment systems? Blockchain technology. And this is what I was trying to mention with governments getting involved, as well as institutions, in blockchain technology. Which blockchain are they going to use, though? Probably XRP, right? Trump's good buddies with the CEO of XRP, and there's just been a lot of talks about that. So I feel like that might be the case. XRP might have its play here. Similar thing with the ETFs that we might possibly be getting for XRP. It'll be good. So yeah, there it is. He signed executive order to enable US Treasury to modernize its payment system. And it also allows transparency, right? Reduces fraud, waste, and abuse. It's just overall beneficial. Ripple also agrees to drop its appeal against the SEC. They will be paying $50 million of the initial $125 million fine. So, they got out of the case, but at what cost? It's fine, though. It's all over. BlackRock also accumulating a lot of Solana now. They have 700 million, tokenized treasury fund, and it's now available on 7 chains from BlackRock. They know something. Fidelity also filing for Solana ETF with Chicago BOE. CBOE meaning Chicago Board Operations Exchange. There you go. Okay, so that's that. I want to check more stuff first before we talk about HyperLiquid, because that's a whole another subject. Oh gosh, I don't even know if I'll have time. I'll give you guys extra content. Remember, guys, Trump owns over $500 million worth of Ethereum as well. He's bullish. He will also launch the stablecoin using Ethereum. We know that a pump is coming. USD1 stablecoin from World Liberty Financial, Trump's crypto, DeFi. It's happening, right? He's saying it's built for institutions and retail alike, backed by dollars, custodied by Bitco. No games, no gimmicks, just real stability. Great. Also, State of Wyoming planning to launch its own stablecoin by July. A lot of stablecoin news. SEC Crypto Task Force to hold 4 more roundtables from April 11 to June 6. It's going to be a more frequent thing where, well, hopefully nothing bad is mentioned in these roundtables. These little meetings, right? These little conferences between the SEC just to discuss crypto in general. And it's good that they're having these discussions. And it's also streamed live so that viewers can see. The only bad thing about it is that it's like 5 hours long every time. I don't think anybody has the attention span for that. Anyways, they will be focusing on regulation, crypto custody, tokenization, and decentralized finance. That'll be important to see. All right. Now's a good time to talk about what's been going on with HyperLiquid and this coin called Jelly. Jelly is, I'm assuming, a meme coin because I cannot take a project seriously if your name is Jelly. That's just insane. It's Jelly, the ticker. Jelly. Is it just 2 jellies? My Jelly. I'm assuming it's this one, number 806. What about this? Not track, 805. It is the Jelly. Okay. A lot of volatility today because of what happened in HyperLiquid, which, if you'll notice, HyperLiquid is not here. They're gone. And I'll talk about why. So this is what happened. Let me just go back to Sui just to make sure we're not losing. We are losing. It's whatever. There's a massive whale. We already know that whale activity on HyperLiquid is just going insane. And this system has been taken advantage of multiple times with the liquidation levels in HyperLiquid. So they bought 124 million jelly coins, which was worth $4.85 million. They manipulated the price of jelly to make the hyperliquidity provider, HLP, face a loss of $12 million. So HyperLiquid's liquidity provider, they ended up losing $12 million from somebody entering a position with $4.85 million. Now, how does this happen? How does an exchange lose money like this weird exploit? This is how. So the whale first dumped jelly, which made the price crash, leaving the liquidity provider with a passive short position of 398 million jellies, which is $15 million. The guy then rebuys jelly, drives the price back up, and makes HyperLiquid suffer a liquidation loss of nearly $12 million. It's like he over leverages, I think, toward the downside, purposefully, like, somehow gets the exchange to also go short to cover up for that loss, right? To cover for the liquidity, because they don't have enough liquidity. And then the guy just immediately goes long and just liquidates that entire position and the exchange's position for a total loss of like $12 million. The exchange is losing money here, the decentralized exchange, HyperLiquid. They mentioned this in a tweet saying, after evidence of suspicious market activity, the validator set, convened, and voted to delist Jelly perpetuals. So Jelly is no more. They delisted Jelly after Binance and OKX future listings. Okay, well, I'll talk about later that. That's a whole different subject too. Oh my gosh. All users, apart from flagged addresses, will be made whole from the Hyper Foundation. A lot of people also lost their money in the process of this whole liquidation event, right? But Hyperliquid has promised to refund those people. This will be done automatically in the coming days based on on-chain data. Everything's on blockchain, so they'll know who you are. Well, not who you are specifically, but who wasn't involved in this liquidation. There's no need to open a ticket. Methodology will be shared in detail in a later announcement. As with other chains, validators will often need to convene to take decisive action as a group to ensure the integrity of the network. So their team internally they're talking about. It's a priority to enhance robustness and transparency to the voting system. Note that Hyperliquid's liquidity providers, 24 hours profit and loss. As of writing, they're losing about 700,000 USDC. They're making technical improvements, and the network will grow stronger as a result of lessons learned. More details will be shared shortly, is what they said. So this is a breakdown of the whole drama, practically. Trader opens a massive short position on Jelly, $6 million. It was a small coin with 20 million market cap at the time. The trader deliberately self-liquidated by pumping Jelly's price on-chain, essentially forcing himself out of the trade. Hyperliquid was left holding the toxic short position, which is currently at a massive loss, and Jelly pumped from $10 million market cap to $50 million market cap in under an hour due to the forced squeeze. Oh, okay, I see. So they open a short position on Hyperliquid, but they go to on-chain Jelly's price and buy more. They pump the price and force liquidate Hyperliquid. And because it's not enough liquidity to cover for that, Hyperliquid actually ends up losing much more from that trade. That's crazy. So easy manipulation from that. Jelly pumped from, yeah, I already read that. Hyperliquid could face full liquidation if it reaches $150 million market cap, which is about 3x away. So everybody's watching closely. Genuinely a wild scenario unfolding live. Okay. So when they rebought it in a separate chain, right? They didn't do it on Hyperliquid. And now, this is where the issue comes in. It was only listed on Hyperliquid. Not really only listed there, but I guess it was popular to have its listing there. And it's gathered a lot of attention that it's now being listed on other exchanges as well. And that's when Hyperliquid decided, you know what? We're going to delist this coin from our exchange. Because now that other people, this is like an exchange war. These other exchanges like OKX, Binance, they want Hyperliquid to lose that kind of money, right? Because they currently have that short position that's losing a lot of money. And there's a certain liquidation price for it. If market cap reaches 150 million, that's not too far away, considering you're listing this Jelly coin on Binance and OKX. A lot of people will start buying that more since you're in short. If price goes up, you will lose money, and Hyperliquid could lose all their money there. Not all their money, but like, what was it, $12 million? They're currently at $10 million loss. Yeah, that's just insane. Oh, okay. That explains this reply. CBB also, of course, always looking at Hyperliquid's the DEX scan, whatever it's called, for them to check all the on-chain activity. He's saying, let's hunt this dude down with size, drop a DM, setting up a team right now, and already got good size. If you recall, this is the exact same thing that he did when he was trying to liquidate the Bitcoin short whale. And this is Hyperliquid's actual position open, right? Where it can get liquidated. So now he's trying to get whales to join in to pump the price of Jelly so that Hyperliquid will get liquidated. That's going to be pretty funny. That explains that tweet. I was wondering what that was about. So yeah, they're delisting that coin because of fear, I guess. They don't want people to keep on buying, so they're going to do anything in their power to prevent people from buying that now. Yeah, that's the exchange war, I guess. That's kind of going on. Bit of drama there. That's pretty neat, pretty interesting. Not neat, but you know, you get the point. Where is that post? There was one post that here. Yeah, so Binance offered perpetual listing and declaring a war against Hyperliquid, right? And they're just saying, oh, we're just listing a meme coin. It's no big deal. Here's more background context. That's just very, very detailed explanation. If you really want to read all that, just pause and read that. But I already know all this information. Yeah, so that's what's been going on. Kind of evil of Binance and OKX, and really, like, I don't even know if you could blame all these other exchanges by now, but yeah. Because I'm pretty sure all of these were here before. BingX, BitUnix had it, Bitmart, Mexi, Gate.io, BitGet, Radium. Of course, they're going to have that first already. But it's just that HyperLiquid also had it there. And now Binance will be listing it. OKX will be listing it. So, you know, those centralized exchanges will bring more liquidity to the market, potentially pumping the price of jelly at that point. Yeah. And ironic also from this, Binance apparently suspended a wallet team member for insider trading. They terminated Movement Labs market maker for misconduct and strengthened their employee trading policies while rewarding whistleblowers. Somebody snitched and outed people that worked at Binance for insider trading. Something separate though. It has nothing to do with this HyperLiquid case. At least I don't think. But yeah, cool. It's good to know that they are against insider trading when I think they do manipulate the market sometimes. Nice, cool. Well, that's all you get for today. That's all the news I have. Been streaming for an hour. That's crazy. Sui did not reach its take profit yet, and frankly, I don't think it will. No, it might. It should. Like, its next resistance we're looking at is 276. I'm looking for 273, and I'm out. It seems like we're kind of gaining momentum for another swing upwards. I hope so. Last night, overnight, we had overall pump in the market. Like, I'm going to show you this. What time was this? Yeah, like 8 o'clock p.m. 9, 10, 11, 12. Midnight, we just started pumping. All coins, by the way, every coin. 7% pump until like 7 a.m., right? 1% every hour. And then 8 a.m. happened. Wall Street opened with a sell-off. That's why I lost on this first position. But at around 3 p.m., I entered another long position. It seems like the Asian market is kind of buying, but I don't know. I'm hoping I don't know. It's possible to get an overnight pump, so hoping that might happen again. Just a little bit, just another 2%, and I'll be golden. Yeah, that's all I have for today then. Great. Thanks for watching. I'll let you guys know how this goes tomorrow. Hope you enjoyed. Like and subscribe, and I'll see you later.